humanity has to start thinking about issues differently than what we did. Okay, we were early Iron Age men developed religions. Okay, and those religions worked brilliantly for thousands of years. Okay, and as Jung put it, previously we had a religious formula for everything that's psychological. Okay, but now we have to start thinking about things differently because the religious formulas have some holes in them. And we have to admit that they have holes in them. And then we have to find, well, if the religious formulas aren't perfect and have holes in them, then what do we do about it? Jung's answer was, first of all, we understand ourselves psychologically so that we understand how we as individuals are functioning, and then that will have an impact on society. Okay.
The thing is,
I'm just having a disagreement basically with Jung here because
Okay.
I think in many ways we are mere cogs in the machine, and we have a structure that is imposed on us. It's very difficult to break out of that, and that
All changes come from
and that
revolutionaries.
religion is only failing because it weakened itself.
no, I agree. I disagree. But I think you're right. Where you started was good. I think we are cogs in a machine in a way because
That's what religion is, though.
Yeah, but no,
it's the
wait.
machine.
But we're going through a big change right now, and that means we're not going to be thinking the same in 100 years because of what's going on now. We're going to be thinking differently. But in the process, we're cogs in the machine because we are part of the change, and we can't see it yet. We have no room to reflect. We're in it. So right now something's going on that's changing, and we always, when we go through these changes, we're always hoping we're going to come out the other end because there's a chance we could just wipe ourselves out one way or another.
Right.
But I think, I think religion is dead. I mean, that belongs to another epoch, another eon.
That was early Iron
Talking
Age
about
men.
Christian religion?
I'm talking about any religion.
That's absurd.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's the regulated.
It's the old way of thinking.
It's the old way of
It's a
thinking.
universal way of thinking.
Well,
Well,
it is according to the old way of thinking.
Okay, but
I don't agree.
But
with that.
I know. but-
Here's
Well,
the-
I mean, that's the same thing as saying that slavery has been abolished and will never come back.
well, it's
Or
back.
that cannibalism went away and will never come back.
No, I'm just
Slavery's
saying
definitely
religion will
back.
it'll
These
have
are
a whole.
universal human.
Right, but here's the thing, John.
I'm not saying
We are in the midst of a transition in the Jungian sense right now.
Religion
okay?
doesn't fit anymore.
In the sense that this is our 54th session in this group. Okay, I'm driven to be here every week early and to make these videos, to edit these videos down and put them out to the world. Okay, I'm not being paid to do that. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm driven to do it. Okay, so there's something that's in the collective unconscious that's driving me to do it. There's something that's driving us to be sitting around this table every week talking about this stuff. And we are part of the transition that's going on. I'm not saying what the end result is. I have no clue what the end result is. But I do know that as of today, we have 271 people all over the world that are subscribing to our conversations and listening to them. And
But so does a Jesuit seminar
so does a Jesuit seminar what?
have a following.
Surely a Jesuit seminar has a following, no doubt about that. and it has a big following, and it's going to have for quite a while to come, right? But this is something new. This is something different. And the question is, in 100 years, will a Jesuit seminar be driving people the same way that whatever we're starting will? I don't know. Maybe.
It happened to me at work, for example. Here I am at work, and we're setting up a whole new area to deal with the technology and dealing with interfacing with the taxpayers. And so what you've got is you've got ways that things have been done. And you've got these people who've done these things that way before, and they're young, and they're just hot and hopping and ready to go. And I'm looking at them and going, you guys, all that technology you're talking about looks backwards. You need technology that looks forward. They don't get it. So they hire more people to do technology that looks backwards. And yet management's, the commissioner's saying, we gotta be able to engage the people in a new way. And they're using the old technology. And so here we are, we're going through a transition just in a social way, and we keep hiring people that look backwards. And it's gonna happen in spite of them. At some point there'll be such it'll overwhelm them, and they'll have to turn around and look, or have to get people that look the other way and see that so that's all I'm saying. Okay, so here's religion now. It doesn't work. It's not the fix. Down here, you can call it religion if you want, but it's not going to look like what it looks like now. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying religion's going away. I'm just saying what we call religion won't be there.
Well, there will be plenty of regressive people who are still following religion in the old way. There's no doubt about that. And that will probably be true 1,000 years from now. There will probably be Christians and Muslims and Hindus 1,000 years from now. I'm not denying that.
And some of them will be enlightened and will embrace and change and accommodate change.
It's almost like what I'm hearing him saying is he touts the religious attitude, which I like. I like Jung's approach to the religious attitude.
Okay.
But that is almost like saying there is no religious attitude in these other established religious forms, and I don't agree with that.
Well, certainly there are. The problem is that 40% of the country doesn't go to any religion whatsoever today. I mean, my wife has become a celebrant for funerals because 40% of the country doesn't have a pastor or a mullah or a rabbi to be their celebrant at their funeral. Okay, 40% of the country is like that today.
Right, but a lot of this has decayed only in the past 50 or 60 years.
Right. So we have a transition going on. So what I'm looking for, let me explain it to you very simply. When I was in the 8th grade, and you probably had this experience too, I was in chemistry class, or I was in a science class that was doing chemistry, and there was a beaker, and the beaker had clear liquid in it. And the teacher dropped one drop of another clear liquid into that beaker, and it turned red. And then he dropped another drop of a very clear liquid into that beaker, and it turned back clear. Okay, and that happened when something switched from acid to base. Okay, so right now we have religions around the world that think they have to kill one another because only their way is the right way. That's what we have today. Okay, and so there are a lot of, I don't even have to tell you, I mean, there's plenty of Americans who think they're Christian who, would happily kill any Muslim they came down the street with, except for the fact that we have police, right? And vice versa, that's true, all right? And so I want to see this one drop of something that will change that attitude, that will say, oh, I get it. We all developed alike, and maybe we could learn something from the other religions. Maybe we could learn something instead of we got to kill them because they're the wrong way. Okay, that's a tiny little change, but that tiny little change can really change the attitude of the human species.
But the ideology is in every one of us. It's not just religion. It's in the person themselves. And I'll give you an example of Kathy Griffin holding up the head of Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Symbolically, she wants to kill him. A lot of people want to kill him. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing, and we need to change that attitude. Okay, that's the transition that we need to come through, isn't it? I mean, because that's the opposites. Okay, that's the opposites in spades, right? And so I'm not denying that people are like that. Okay, that's how we are as human beings. And yet that's the transition that we need to come through as a species if we're going to survive.
Well, there's ideology and everything, even the language we speak.
Yeah.
Ich bin Duke.
I mean, I'm not denying that Kathy Griffin was outrageous in that whatever it was that she was doing, that's right. Okay. And that's not the answer.
It would be hard to be an entertainer these days.
And
It's hard to be a male these days.
It's like this.
John, I don't know what
the
the...
difference between the constrained vision and the unconstrained vision. Constrained vision says that man is, let's see if I got this. Constrained vision is man is a risen ape. The unconstrained vision is that man is a fallen angel.
Right.
And the third one is
Okay.
who are the creatures that went down and mingled with the women?
The fallen angels.
Is that it? Okay,
And they created the giants, right?
we are the children of.
We are the children of the fallen angels. That's right.
But it's an interesting point. It's an interesting question because historically you can go back and you can say both things have happened in there's advancement, but it's material advancement. It's actually I think we've declined in our spiritual
Big time.
advancement, but we've increased our material.
Sure, that was Edinger's
dramatically.
point. That was Edinger's point precisely.
So you can go back and you can go back and you can say
Time to go, guys.
Yeah. Time to go. They want to go home.
we've improved, but we've gone backwards at the same time.
Right.